everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast episode 155. Yeah, that's it. I'm Casey, the host. What's up? We've got Zero.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Guy.
Oh yeah, hello.
Slicer.
Hey, I'm on a Wednesday. This is weird.
And Patient.
Present and accounted for.
Yeah, so we don't have a Kenshi because he is picking up family at the airport or something. He only
We
found out
need a
today.
Kenshi.
Nobody ever needs a Kenshi. Honestly, the one we've got is too much.
The Kench was benched, as it were.
Oh.
Kenshi in the back seat.
So you could say the hench Kench is entrenched in the bench.
That was impressive.
I try.
Who would ever say that?
Nobody. Nobody
No.
but Casey.
Alright, so that's everybody that's here. So, happy Thanksgiving for 3 days ago, I guess. Americans that celebrate that for some reason, no one cares. Yay.
Because freedom and
Hey,
propaganda.
it's an excuse. It's an excuse to yell about freedom, so we take it.
And we do enjoy doing that.
Thanksgiving is about when you know, were welcomed by natives and then murdered them later. I don't know what that has
Yeah.
to do with freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
Everything.
Freedom to
Proving
murder people,
ourselves
I guess.
better.
Alright. Good job, America. You're great.
We had to prove
right.
those foreigners who was boss.
Yeah, so happy stuff. I don't know. Happy stuff.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
I can appreciate the one thing about Thanksgiving that you guys have, and that's the food, because fucking turkey and stuffing and shit is great.
It's pretty good.
I love me some good stuffing.
Yeah. We have a turkey for Christmas. It's going to be good.
I've always wanted to try the turducken.
It's good. It's so good. We had one for Christmas a few years ago. I devoured most of it, and my parents didn't like it, so I had their share too.
Oh, nice. I love when that happens.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. Memories. Unfortunately, because they didn't like it, we're never going to have it again, so that's
Oh, wow.
unfortunately. But it lives on in my memories, you know, so...
Once in a lifetime opportunity. Have yourself a turducken.
Yeah. One
So,
shot,
speaking
one
of-
opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted.
Damn it, you beat me.
Speaking
trying
of
to remember the songs or the lyrics to that Eminem song.
speaking of turduckens, what were you doing this week, Casey?
Yes, that's a new way to phrase what we're doing by having Zero do it instead of me. I don't appreciate you doing it that way, though.
Well, let's have you go first. Come on. Tell us about your interesting
But Zero,
week in which you conquered many foes.
this is another failing of your attempts to steal the hosting duties away from me. You forgot one of our most important rules. Guy always goes first.
Gosh darn it. I was trying to save Guy, but now I can't.
So, Guy,
And that...
what have you been doing this week?
Hello.
I think he left.
No, he's still here because I can hear the feedback from his microphone.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right, okay.
Oh my gosh, that is some bad feedback. What happened to
There's
his
a bit of
mic?
snow going on there.
Is it better now or not?
It's fine.
No.
It's fine, we can hear you.
Do you want me to try and switch mics? Tell me now.
No, it's fine. Better than usual, so.
Okay. Yeah, what was I saying? I can't remember.
What you were doing this week?
Right, what I was doing? I don't know what I've been doing. Honestly, we have to go through this every single week. Don't...
For an engineer, you're surprisingly absent-minded.
I'm not absent-minded, I just don't care. Okay, it's... What have I been doing? Yeah, that's one question which I was going to ask you. How are you meant to deal with happy people?
You smile and nod.
I met someone... Well, no, have you ever met someone who's just like really, really happy? Or like ridiculously happy?
Oh, that's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. Hi.
Have you ever met someone just so happy that you want to slap them?
That's also me.
Yeah.
No, I like those people. One of my best friends was one of those people when I was in school. They're great.
It's just, why are you so happy all the time? It's someone at work that's a new person that's came in as a contractor, and he's just so happy. He shouldn't be that happy.
Oh, it's a dude? Oh, that's less good then. Fair play.
What?
If it's a dude, it's less good.
Yeah, it's a dude. He's a software engineer. That explains a lot about him.
Yeah, I'm less good.
Yeah, you are, Zero. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And no one can take that away from you.
That's right. Don't try. I'll fight you.
So, you have a chirpy cheery colleague now.
Yeah, and it's annoying me. I don't
But he's
like
in
it.
software and you're in, like, the other thing, the real life thing.
I do a lot of software too, you know.
You do?
Yeah. It's not my main focus, but yeah, it's part of my job. I mean, you can't really do hardware purely anymore. It's mostly just well, safety standards or stuff, which is stuff I can't get into. Anyways, what else has been happening? Yeah, actually, I've got a new job. Well, I don't have a new job, but I'm getting a new job next year. Just
Cool.
did I tell you that I was going for an interview?
You did not, no. You complained about something last week, but it wasn't an interview.
Right, well, it was a couple of weeks ago. I went for a job interview.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
You mentioned that.
So yeah, I'll be starting a new job next year, which is going to be more travelling. I'll be working as a consultant rather than just doing what I'm doing now. So it's I get a company car too, which is
Ooh,
great.
consultant means more money.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pay rise too. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say, I guess.
Fair play. Okay, I think I'll go next. Because someone thought I should go early for some reason. I don't know who it was.
That's right.
The person couldn't have been particularly important because he's not the host, so, you know, it's fine. Whatever. I'll go next, I guess. As a concession to whoever that person was.
Remember when you didn't want to necessarily be the host and you were like, oh, well, maybe we can, like, switch off, or I guess I'm going to be the host or something.
Yeah, that was before you were even on the show, so I don't
Now
quite
you
know
take
how you
such
knew about
pride-
that.
You take such pride in it now. No, that wasn't before I was on the show. That was even after I was on the show.
It was, actually. It was within, like, the first 30 episodes or so.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think that was in the time when I wasn't expecting to be on every week. Oh, it was because we were still using Pamela way back in the way back time of backness.
In the long, long ago, in the before time.
Yeah, then. And because at the time we were using a trial version of Pamela, we only had it for 4 weeks. So someone else would then have to also download the trial and then it would loop around. So I didn't necessarily have to be on every week. That changed when we figured out no one else could record, and thus I had to be on every week. But
Yeah.
oh well. Oh, that's changed too, because Slicer has Shadowplay now, so he could actually record.
Yeah, we still run into the issue of my connection, so I couldn't actually upload anything within a reasonable time frame.
The loser is you.
Yeah. Oh well. So what have I done?
How does Kenshi not have a better computer by now? Like, he makes money.
Has higher priorities in wanting to buy a house with a backyard where he can put a wrestling ring. The way his mind works, I swear.
That's true.
Alright. what have I done this week? I played a bit more of Tyranny. It's
Depressing?
yeah, which makes me kind of not want to play it as much, unfortunately.
I've heard that people who play that game for a long period of time feel very depressed because it's just so bleak.
It is very, very bleak, and everyone sucks, including the good guys. Yeah, so it's hard to actually, have the traditional measure of fun with it. Like, yeah. So I've taken a break from that, and I'm playing Pillars of Eternity again, which is, also not necessarily the traditional, definition of fun for video games, but it's closer to it than Tyranny is. So I'll take that as, as an upside.
Well, at least there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I still wanted to play a game of that type, and I also happen to have another one, so it works. It works out. That's fine. Also been playing off and on a bit more of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. It's still okay. It's still very flawed in some similar ways to the first one, and yeah, it's okay.
But is it fun?
Yes.
Yes!
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Zero. That actually does actually sound better than yes. That sounds like an even higher yes is yes.
Yes.
Yayish? No, it has yay in it. That's still wrong. It's almost fun. Is what it is. It's kind of something to do. Is kind of, yeah. That's depressing. There's a definition of it, actually. Yeah, so I played bits and pieces of that when I couldn't think of anything better to do at the time. I also realized over the course of this week that, hey, I pretty much haven't written anything for the entirety of this month. And that came as a bit of a shock. I hadn't realized. Like, it had completely escaped my notice that I wasn't writing for an entire month. So, yeah. Gonna blame that on all the bullshit I've been dealing with the disability claim and stuff, and the doctor's appointments, and
Yeah, no, you've been busy and pretty drained. I don't blame you for not writing.
Yeah. So, that was surprising and actually kind of annoying, because I do like writing, and I want to keep doing that, and it's just... it annoys me that I haven't been. So, I'm hopefully going to try and get back into that, even though my disability claim is still going on, and I have another doctor's appointment on Monday, and... fucking Christ. But, whatever. We endure and all that shit. So, did some more recording last week, so all the series that we've been doing are back on to the doingness. So Dark Souls is still going. And Conception is still going, and Zero and I started recording a new show. Yay!
Yay!
What did we call it, Zero?
I don't want to say it.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Say it.
You always
suck.
wanted a show with your name in it.
It's called Zero Interest.
Yeah, it is.
That's really good. I like that.
That's awful.
Shut up,
See?
Zero
Should be
guy.
ashamed.
It is awful.
It's great.
What is it? What's the
So-
format?
As... I don't know whether we actually discussed it in recording, but Zero has not watched Ruby, except for a few episodes in the first season, then he gave up on it. I watch everything Rooster Teeth almost religiously.
Yeah.
I think literally all of my t-shirts are Rooster Teeth t-shirts now.
Wow.
I hadn't noticed that had happened until I thought about it when I noticed I was wearing a Rooster Teeth t-shirt while we were recording this series. But, it's... But still, that's fine. I am what one might describe as a fan.
A fanboy.
Let's just say a fan. We don't need to put derogatory suffixes on that.
You just said all of your shirts are Rooster Teeth shirts. You're a fanboy.
They're good designs. Like, it's fine. I mean, technically, this one's a Halo shirt because it's just
You
a stealth symbol.
can't excuse that.
It might have a Rooster Teeth logo on the back, but that's only because it doesn't matter. So I'm a fan. Zero is not a fan. He only watched the first few episodes and decided to bin it off. So I figured, hey, this is a good thing that Zero would enjoy if he watched more of it and didn't get put off by the terrible, terrible first season. So we're basically putting Zero's "it's good if you watch 6 episodes" theory to the test.
But I did watch 6 episodes of that show, and that's
6
when I
episodes
gave
of an
up.
anime is 25 minutes each, times 6.
Yeah, but you have to understand, I was watching this weekly as it was coming out.
Yeah,
And
weekly
so
when they
I
were
would get
still
like
doing,
6
They were doing 3-minute episodes at the time, and that was
6
not-
minutes.
That's not including the intro and outro.
Yeah, that 6 episodes is like 2.5 hours, and that's like every episode made so far. Or you'd be
Not
like
really,
well
that'd be-
into
that'd
season
be
2.
The second season, yeah, halfway through the second season. So, you know, if you get to halfway through the second season and there's nothing redeemable for you, Zero, then that's fine, I guess. But yeah, so what we're doing is basically Skype video call. Zero watches the episode and gives a synopsis, and we discuss what the episode's faults and, you know, merits and such are, as someone who knows everything about the show and someone who's just kind of trying to get into it for the sake of a show.
Huh. I expected more of a Mystery Science Theater kind of thing, but okay.
No, that's called copyright infringement. Is what that's called.
I'm okay. More of a React video in that there's a small version of the thing playing in the top part of the screen, or it's sans that, just telling people to start the episode at a certain time.
I'm going to be putting footage of the episode in little snippets to show what we're talking about when we talk about it, but that's pretty much all it's going to be.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. That, or even just still pictures would work for that kind of thing.
Yeah. So we've done the first 2 episodes of that. At the moment, we're planning on releasing it on Sundays, so, you know, I guess for people that are watching this episode of the podcast on Saturday, you can check back tomorrow and see how that turned out for the first episode. That's tentative scheduling, because if we keep going at that pace, then it's going to take about a year to catch up. So,
Wow.
yeah.
We're going to be doing like 2 or 3 episodes per actual episode eventually.
No, we're not. At the moment, because they used to do, for the first season, they used to do 2-parters, which would be like 4 minutes of actual episode per episode. There's not a lot to pass in that amount of content. So we can talk for 10 minutes and do 2 episodes at once. We won't be able to do that for future seasons. It's not a way that we'd be able to do it. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. Hope people enjoy it. You know, that'd be nice. We'll eventually get to season 4 and the things people actually care about right now. Also, again,
Eventually.
I mentioned this in the fucking second episode, so it's not in the first episode, but people don't fucking spoil anything, please.
That's just mean. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will want to
'Cause-
because they'll want to discuss the things that are happening now and the things that happened recently, but don't do that to someone who hasn't actually seen it yet, because it's not cool.
Apparently crazy things happen later on.
Yep.
So I'm guessing. But at the same time, if I know those crazy things ahead of time, it might ruin my enjoyment when I get to those things.
Yep.
And that will make the series less interesting.
Yep. Pretty much. So, yeah. So I'm hoping people enjoy that, and it should be fun. Should be cool. Is there anything else that I've been doing this past week? Not really. That's pretty much it. So... Zero.
Yeah,
Do you want to go next?
sure. So I got Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I beat the main story mode already on Pokemon Sun.
It's been like 8 days.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
I beat it. It has a long main story, and the post game is still not over. It's a pretty long post game as well. This game is good. It is very good. Like, it's probably like I feel like this is a Pokemon. This is the most one of the most fully realized handheld Pokemon games. And there's lots of cool, convenient features that really allow you to basically get pretty much every Pokemon in the game. Because there's this feature, for example, called the QR scanner, and every Pokemon has a QR code. And so you can scan and get the Pokedex information for like 10 Pokemon a day. And doing that will allow you to do an island scan. So a Pokemon that isn't in the game will appear, and you can go and you can catch it.
Oh, cool. Okay. That solves that problem.
So very convenient with just how this game system works. The story is probably the best story yet in a Pokemon game on like a handheld console. Maybe even better than... Actually, I would say this is better than Coliseum or XD
Good
in
to
terms
know.
of story.
I look forward to playing the updated re-release on the Nintendo Switch.
If that
Is that-
actually happens.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely
That's a
happening.
rumor.
It's a pretty well substantiated rumor.
Okay, that's good.
I would love to play an updated version on the Switch though, because this thing can run at a higher resolution. It just is limited by its console. So,
Yeah.
by the 3DS itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
they are
I've been
pretty much positioning the Switch to run as their home console and as a handheld. So if it's successful, it'll probably just supplant the 3DS completely over time.
yeah. Because I have the new 3DS, and I've noticed that there are some frame rate issues when you're in a double battle with somebody else. And the new 3DS is more powerful than the regular 3DS. And to have
People have been
frame rate
having quite
issues
a
with
few
that,
problems with the regular 3DS.
yeah, I can imagine. Aside from that, like, the game is good. The soundtrack is amazing. The champion of this thing, I won't say who it is, but they are amazing if you can kind of get what's going on there. Because it's actually really cool what they do in this game. Concerning that, just a lot of the setting and everything, even the legendaries, everything just works really well. I have trouble picking out who my team is going to be because just I love a lot of the new designs and Pokemon in this game. I know some people might not, but like for example, there is a Pokemon I got it's a giant anchor, and it's a
Really?
ghost and grass type.
Is
It's
it
like a
called
haunted-
Anchorman?
No, but that's a great name for it. I should go do that and name it right now. But that Pokemon can only be caught by fishing in one particular spot, and unless you do an exploit, it has a 1% chance of appearing.
Jesus, what? That's stupid.
But it's so satisfying. There are some
No.
really hard to get Pokemon in this game.
That makes a lot of sense to me. A lot more than like the old legendary style of, oh, it's just in this cave. That's
Yeah.
literally, you actually have to try and find it in this case, and it's rare to actually find it.
It's not even a legendary, but there's echo. Okay, but has like an ability called Steelworks that gives it a 50% boost to the damage of steel type moves. So it's basically a triple type because it kind of has that stab bonus on steel moves.
It's not the first time that they've pulled something like that with a non-legendary Pokemon. Though really, if you're looking to make legendary Pokemon harder, they've done that with roaming legendaries. And I think I speak for all of us when I say we'd rather not have that.
By roaming legendaries, do you mean the fucking dogs from Gold Silver? Because that's not what we mean.
Etc.
I've not encountered a single roaming legendary in this game. Also,
Quick clarification thing on that. Is that an in-story, in-universe exploit, or do you have to like talk to this person, then will fool the data into thinking blah 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 blah?
To do the exploit, you basically have to walk into a building and walk out, and then fish over and over and over and over again, so that it goes from a 1% chance of catching it to a 10% chance.
Oh, so okay, yeah, I'm against that then. So, unfortunately.
But as I was saying, it's not the first time that they've done that. I mean, they did it with Feebas in Generation 3. Feebas, its evolved form Milotic is one of the best Pokemon in the game.
Yeah, and this Pokemon as well is just really good, great typing and whatnot. There's lots of cool, unique moves in this game too that are just signature to a Pokemon, as well as the Z moves. I didn't realize this, but the way the Z moves work is that they do an improved version of every type of move you have of that type. So whichever one has the highest power usually is the one you want to use for an attack. But also there's things like, say for example, Z Splash. You know what Z Splash has the added effect of doing?
Nothing.
No, what's that?
It raises your attack by 3 stages.
You're kidding me.
No.
It's pretty solid.
For once, after all of these years, they've finally given Splash a use.
Yes.
Isn't a Z move basically a one-shot like sort of thing? You can only use it once.
You can only use it once, it's not always guaranteed to one-shot, but it's an extremely powerful move.
Once per battle, that is.
Pretty solid.
There's stuff like, say, for example, Z Synthesis. Now instead of just healing you, it also heals you and gets rid of any buffs on the field.
Ooh.
It turns all the stat changes to normal, I think, is what it does.
This is a major game changer, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And so,
if they do the Switch thing, I am totally down for this. I did not expect to turn around on Sun and Moon, but I am so down for this game.
in terms of difficulty, it can be really challenging at times. I've wiped to quite a few people actually. And especially when you have things like totem Pokemon that buff themselves, and if you don't have the right type of team for that, you like the whole aspect of having auras, because a Pokemon will appear and they have an aura. Like the Ultra Beasts, for example. There's one that has an aura that boosts its attack, and its attack is already ridiculous, and it will one-shot most things. And there's lots of just really cool things they've done in this game. Like, for example, hyper training, which it can, at level 100, hyper training will increase your Pokemon's IVs to max. The downside to that is that they can't be passed on through breeding. So if you want good breeding IVs, you have to do that normally, and it doesn't affect hidden power. But if you have a good Pokemon that is good in every other way, and you just want to give it good IV so it's viable competitively,
So is hyper training temporary or?
No, it's permanent.
And you can only use it on like one Pokemon or something?
Level 100 Pokemon, you use a consumable item that you can get through many different ways, and it will increase your Pokemon's IVs for their stats to the max.
So it's basically a competitive thing, so you don't have to fuck around with breeding for
Yeah.
no reason. Awesome.
You don't have to
That is a
screw around with breeding.
fantastic addition. Because people were just hacking it anyway, so why not just make it easy anyway? Just
Yeah.
nip that in the bud.
The items are a little bit hard to find, but if you're like, the items are a little bit hard to find. So if you're, there are ways to get them though that aren't too bad. Overall, like the addition of ride Pokemon is something I really like because you don't need HMs at all in this game.
So rideable Pokemon basically replace all HM. So if you have a big burly motherfucker, you can use it for smashing through rocks and stuff. If you have a water type that's big, you can ride on it and surf, I'm assuming?
There's like a Lapras you can use for surfing and fishing while surfing. There's the Sharpedo, which you can use for blasting through rocks at high speeds on water. There's a Charizard, which you can use to basically fly pretty much anywhere that they have a set point at, and they have the points set around in very convenient spaces. There's Stoutland, which... Oh,
it's fine.
Echo. There's a Stoutland, which replaces your Dowsing Mean and can search for items, as well as being fast while riding.
People said that X and Y was an evolution of the series because it wasn't like fixed position camera and all this stuff, and it's full 3D and everything. No. This is sounding like the actual evolution of the series, putting in so many features that were so needed for so long.
As well as just there's so many convenience features even in battle, just like being able to click on the bottom screen and see what buffs and debuffs are active currently and whatnot. To like you can just push Y in the middle of a battle and it will bring up your menu of Pokeballs. Just so you can just do a quick catch and it will remember the last Pokeball you used. So you just do YA, throw a quick Pokeball.
It's like they learned game design in between games. It's great.
There's no gyms either. Those have been completely removed, as far as I'm aware, unless there's some sort of gym mechanic in the post game that I haven't gone to. And so
it's probably a Battle Frontier style thing, something like that.
There is a battle tree where you can go to and fight legendary trainers from the series.
Didn't they do that in Black and White?
Yeah, but bringing it back is not bad, especially for the 20th anniversary game.
Oh god, he's not talking about Black Tower, is he?
He's talking about the Pokemon World Tournament.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was okay.
I mean, I've never played Generation 5. I've played every other generation, but not that one.
It was pretty solid. Like, there were tournaments where you could fight all the gym leaders from previous generations and the champions and the main characters and stuff, and they would all have unique dialogue. And they would have... you could fight them with their specific battle style, or you could fight them with random Pokemon. And it was all a really interesting mechanic that there wasn't much actual point to for gameplay reasons. But, it was still pretty solid.
Oh, and Casey, you can map the ride Pokemon to the directional pad, so they're really quick to just switch to it on and off.
Cool.
So yeah, this game is just really an evolution of the whole series.
Ha!
Replacing the gyms with the trials, which are more like quests in a way. And it feels a lot more like an actual RPG in a lot of ways.
So they've saved the games from getting old. The question is, can they salvage the anime?
You see, that's the problem.
No.
You'll notice, they won't know, but my profile pic is Ash from the Sun and Moon anime. because in my other convo I gave myself the title humorously of Skin Cancer Ash, because that's what it looks like what happened to him. His face and his skin is all like the little things that would go under his eyes are now close enough to his face to be mistaken for a mustache.
You're right.
Ash? I never clicked on it. I thought it was Ty from the war game.
No.
He has a curly mustache. It's great.
So, you know what though? The Pokemon anime it will all be saved if Pokemon Generations becomes an official anime and they do a Generation style anime.
I can agree with that.
Le Pikachu, je suis choose you. Ha 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 ha.
Anyway, though, we've fallen into the Pokemon trap once again.
Well, the new game, the new game did just come out, so I think it deserves a little bit of discussion, considering we all seem to know about it.
I don't know. Like,
yeah, well, you don't matter, so...
yeah, good.
Well, he matters a lot.
But... No, it's a good game. If you haven't gone Sun or Moon, pick it up. The story's great. The characters are great. If Stars is an actual thing, which I don't know why it would be, but the one annoying thing I will say about this game is that there's a collectible. You can get Zygarde cells, so you can form Zygarde 100% eventually. He has different forms, so 10%, 50%. And lots of cool moves and whatnot. The problem is, I've always found the Zygarde parts to be just really, really easy to miss. Like, there's just an occasional green sparkle, and it's easy to move past it if you're on like a ride Pokemon and miss that completely. And there have been some glitches where just one Zygarde cells missing from people's games. So they go and they get 99, but they cannot get 100. So, yeah. Also, Casey, if you want white hair in this game, you have to beat the main story first, is what I've discovered.
What?
How disappointing.
Discrimination, that's what it is.
Yeah. But, you know, such is life. And aside from steamrolling through that, I should probably move on to the rest of my week. I'm on a short break for Thanksgiving. Don't have class today or tomorrow. My family is arriving. I think they're already here, probably, my uncle and my cousin. And so I'm giving up my room.
Again.
So that they can, so that my uncle can sleep in my bed and my cousin can sleep in an inflatable mattress on my floor. And I get to sleep on the couch upstairs. Boy, I love back pain.
Aren't family gatherings fun?
Yeah, but it's great because they haven't been over for Thanksgiving in forever. I don't know. It's been a long, long time. So, yay, family stuff, I guess. I also saw Kubo and the Two Strings tunneling. Kubo and the Two Strings being the animated movie. It was like stop motion and everything. Really beautiful movie. Probably one of the best animated movies I've seen. It's really good. That's all I'm gonna say. Go see it. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay. Patient, what have you been doing this week?
Not much to say, as per usual. I mean, right now I'm home for the rest of the week for Thanksgiving, enjoying the time at my parents' house, and looking forward to the feast that my mother and grandmother are going to be preparing tomorrow, with me helping to make it, of course, because I like to help.
Turkey? Are you having turkey? Turkey.
Most likely. Most likely. I've never tried Turducken. We might have to try it at one point based on that recommendation of yours.
It's so
I mean,
good.
I've never tried duck, period. Have any of you guys?
Nope.
Only as part of the
Yeah,
Turducken.
actually. Yeah, we got these small ducks a while back. I can't remember what they were called, but they were really good, actually.
I'll look into it at a date when I have the resources to do so. It's usually just turkey or ham, sometimes chicken, but obviously most often turkey. Anyway, besides that, odds are high that the Crossbrain is going to be publishing Chapter 43 at some point today.
Yay. That means I'm going to have a lot of reading to do.
Over 50,000 words, Casey.
Of course it is.
Oh, over 50. Wait, what? How long? Can you repeat how long that is?
Over 50,000 words.
For a chapter?
For a chapter.
What?
And we're splitting
That's
it in
short
half.
by their standards.
That's a third of a book.
Well, we just had a lot of whams to get through. But it's I'm not sure exactly how soon we'll be publishing it because Zomniac is currently... Hornet and I made our ways home for Thanksgiving yesterday, whereas Zomniac is in the midst of it today, so no way of knowing when he's going to be logging on to put the final touches on the chapter. But Hornet and I have got most of it proofread, and as I said, odds are quite high that we'll be publishing it today. Tomorrow at the absolute latest. But besides that, not really anything going on. Home for Thanksgiving, about to publish the next chapter. I'm finally getting my act together and writing out the last chapter of Changing the Future Redone. So I might be publishing that sometime soon, depending on how it goes. I mean, I'm only part of the Crossbrain, and that's how I thrive. Writing on my own, it's probably going to take a significant amount of longer time for me to put down ideas and get them into an acceptable format on my own. But I can be patient, quite obviously. I would like to be able to publish this at all. So, yeah, that's my week. Nothing too notable.
Appreciate the new version of the joke, by the way. Like you didn't do it exactly the same way as you've done the last 6 times you've made it, so appreciate it.
You've been counting. You flatter me.
What can I say? I'm patient like that.
What doesn't even make any sense?
Slicer.
You should be ashamed. Come on.
Oh, it's okay for him to do it. Slicer.
It is okay for him to do it.
So last Wednesday was the last day to work with wet clay, basically, in the ceramics lab. And so I just spent Wednesday... the lab tech, who basically has my job for the ceramics department, which is very interesting to watch. She stayed after class hours and opened the lab on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for people who weren't done yet. And that was most of our class because we have like one more assignment than we really have time for. It's not great. So to make that worth it, basically, I provided a body to put on the attendance list to make it, justify to the people running the lab, basically. And I just made a bunch of coasters and plaques and stuff of various symbols from games and series and stuff like that. So, like, I made my friend a Paragon and Renegade coaster set, so that was fun. Other things like that. I also finished my final project Nothing really to say. I mean, it was pretty good. It was a lot of fun actually working in the lab and be able to just make my own stuff without having to focus on the project and the requirements and the blah, blah, blah. That kind of stuff. Next, my best friend suggested watching a series called Galavant on Netflix. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Nope, never even heard of it.
Oh, okay. Who here has watched The Princess Bride and enjoyed it?
Me.
Okay, that Galavant is basically The Princess Bride, only a series and a musical.
Oh, wait. I think I saw part of it before. I think I remember that. Galavant.
It's on Netflix, so you need a Netflix account to see it, but I would highly suggest watching it. It's 2 seasons. The episodes are 20 minutes long. I think there's like 9 episodes in a season or something like that, roughly.
Well, with the way you
Really
describe
good.
it, I might certainly have to look into it. Princess Bride is an anime.
At
That
least check. It's not an anime. It's a live action show. But at least watch the first episode. It's not one of those series that starts slow. It starts right into it, and it's good right away.
Oh,
I like
Wow.
musicals. I'm game.
Yes. And it's a good musical, too. None of the songs in the show are bad.
So is it an actual musical or is it a jukebox musical?
It's a live action show that occasionally breaks down into song.
Didn't answer. Actual musical as in original songs or jukebox musical as in it's just fucking covers of songs?
Oh, okay. I didn't know the difference before, but it's the first one.
Right.
Actual musical. All
Okay.
original songs.
Fair play then. I'm down.
Yep.
I wasn't aware of the difference between those either.
Yeah. So on Saturday, we had Pathfinder, as we do every other week, and 2 things stood out. One, we have a fairly new party member, as of he joined like 2 months ago, and his character is an absolute edgelord. Like, he has a black cloak, he has a mask, he has... The only splash of color on him is this red badge he wears for his religion. He tries as hard as he can not to talk. It's hilarious. And so we've just been making fun of him pretty much constantly. And so normally it's in good humor, but this time it turned a little spiteful when after an encounter he decided to take 3 of the 5 magical items we found, which is not good, especially since most of the items were not suited for his character. So yeah, that was a thing. Also, shortly after that encounter, we ran across a trapped door, as you do, and we knew about the trap, and there was no way to really disarm it, so we just set it off, thinking, okay, we'll do fine. No, my character is at full health and got killed instantly by it. It did enough damage to put me at 1 past my maximum negative. So I'm really glad the DM's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. You're alive. You're at your absolute maximum, and you will die in 6 seconds if nobody does anything. But we weren't in combat or anything, so it was fine. So yeah, negative levels suck, because that's why I was weaker than I should have been, because I had died once previously in combat. It's Squishy Wizard and all that. After that, on... Wait, when was... Monday, right, Monday. We had an event called Boffer Christmas, and for those unaware, LARPing is sometimes referred as Boffer Sports. Yeah.
Not aware of that at all, but okay.
Yeah. So it was basically Secret Santa, but we got each other LARPing-related gifts. Like, garb was a very common one. I got a nice sword and shield, which is great, because I don't have a weapon I can use and like. Mine is terrible. Basically just hung out for like 8 straight hours. Everyone but me drank heavily, so that was fun, dealing with a lot of slightly tipsy people. Nobody got stone cold drunk, shockingly enough.
Shockingly enough. Yeah.
Well, it's a group that drinks a lot, so together usually, but that kind of thing. Yesterday we hung out some more, and tonight I'm going to go to board game night with the group as well. So we're really taking advantage of the Thanksgiving break we got at school, which is nice. It's nice to socialize again, basically. It's been a few weeks.
Yay.
Been so busy.
Also, we don't count apparently
Well,
Yeah.
that's internet stuff. I'm lumping all of the yeah. I'm separating real
Or
life
just
and
internet stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Love
Just
you too,
just some
Slicer.
text on a screen that might not even be real. You know, that kind of thing.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
on
it's
to
not real,
us.
but that helps.
Last thing, we're not celebrating Thanksgiving because, as is the norm in my family, people are working on the actual day of Thanksgiving. So we're probably going to celebrate it on the weekend or maybe next weekend.
That's kind of ironic. Isn't Thanksgiving sort of like a harvest sort of thing as well?
I guess? I don't know. I can see your point, though. Yes.
It's ironic because he lives on a farm, just in case the audience didn't get it.
Oh, yes.
Irony.
Agriculture jokes. But yes, that has been my 2 weeks. It's been good, fun.
Everyone's gone, yeah?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I think
Yes, okay. So, that's what we've been doing. So, moving on to the anime that we had to watch this week. That we had to watch this week.
Oh, you're so funny.
Zero and Slicer.
I was busy with family stuff.
Yeah, I just forgot. I was busy with stuff.
So, the anime this week was Regalia, the Three Sacred... It's a complicated... Three Sacred Stars, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is an anime about giant mechs fighting and girls, is the understanding I got from it.
Sounds like a good combination.
So,
it really isn't, to be honest.
guy's going to be miserable on this one. Great.
I'm always miserable.
Yes, you are.
Honestly.
It's always great, in air quotes. So, basic plot of this one. Two mechs are fighting in the intro, and stuff happens. None of it's particularly clear. And there's a big explosion, and everyone in the city vanishes. Okay. Fast forward to sometime after that, in another
12
country
years.
entirely. Okay, 12 years, that works too. And we focus on two sisters, or at least they call each other sister. One of them is clearly very smaller, but is the older sister, apparently, evidently, again, as they call each other.
Yay, Japan!
And as a result, the smaller sister, as I'm going to refer to her from now on, is not given much respect by everyone around them, and is treated like the baby sister, even though she isn't. Anyway, they have time off from school or something, so they agree to meet and have a date.
Yay.
Gonna put that down to Japan. So they agreed to have a date in this cafe place. That looked like it was near a train station or something. Smaller sister is there waiting for younger sister. Let's go with that. But she sees somebody and follows that somebody. And this somebody is... I think she was the woman from the intro with the place exploding.
Was she?
And
I thought she was just someone else.
I think so. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. And that lady says, "Hey, you should come with us," and for reasons.
To learn the truth of what happened 12 years ago.
Sure, let's go with that. So, smaller sister does, and sends... no, she calls the younger sister on the phone and says, "Hey, sorry, I'm not there. I'm never going to see you again. Sucks. Bye."
Not cool. Close.
I'm summarizing.
It was a pretty good summary, actually.
Anyway, so smaller sister goes to the docks or warehouse where she's supposed to be meeting somebody. Big guy shows up and is like, hey, I'm here to collect you and stuff. And he says, no, then I'm actually not. I'm here to fight you for no reason. And turns into a giant mech.
Okay.
So he's like, fight me, and she's like, and he's like, fight me, and she's like, and he's like, okay, I'll kill all these people, and she's like, and turns into a giant mech too. I'm
Wait, so
not
they're
even
turning
exaggerating too
into
much.
they're turning into giant mechs?
Yes.
Basically,
Isn't
the
it
first
just like the summoning giant mechs? They're not actually becoming one.
No,
It
they are
was riding.
becoming giant mechs. They are giant mechs themselves. That is the implication.
Yeah, okay.
So, the younger sister is losing, but, no, the smaller sister, sorry, it's confusing because it doesn't make sense, but the smaller sister is losing the fight with the other mech. But, oh no, the, younger sister is there, the blonde one, and she's like, no, you're hurting and stuff, and you're in a puddle for some reason, even though you were just in a mech. I don't really know how that happened, but it's okay. I'm a help, somehow, even though I have no idea what's going on. And they have a touching moment, and then the younger sister is piloting the smaller sister, somehow. And they have a big fight with the big dude, and they win. And that's pretty much it. And there's another touching scene between the two sisters, and they're like, hey, here's a ring.
basically 2 rings that they wore when they were younger, but hers couldn't fit around her finger anymore. So the smaller sister put it on a necklace so that they could both wear theirs. Also, during that first touching scene, the smaller sister reveals that she's not human and actually designed to be the core of a giant mech or something like that. And yeah, the younger sister, clarifies, removes her fears that they couldn't be together as family. But
yeah, we basically got a Yui Ikari in Ava Unit 1 situation going on. Sort of thing.
But really, I only watched the first episode myself. It was pretty unclear overall everything that was happening. You'd probably have to watch the first 2 episodes to get much of a grasp on the story.
It sounds like a confusing thing.
There's not a lot of detail, but there is enough to carry things forward for the most part. There's a lot of pretty visuals to distract from the what the hell's going on factor. The music is nice, though noticeable in parts, and that's usually a bad thing. The sound design is pretty good. During the fight scenes, the sound effects are very meaty and have a lot of weight to them, which is good. In the summary, I was actually surprisingly negative when I probably shouldn't have been, because I actually kind of like the show. Having only seen the 1 episode, I'm probably actually going to keep watching it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I said a touching scene happens, and I said that because, yeah, it was a touching scene. Yay. It was the second one, at least. The second one was very effective. The first one, not so much, because it was still confusing as to what was going on. Which is a bad thing. They need to work on their expositional skills, but it worked for what it was trying to be. It's kind of like an Evangelion that's trying less hard to be miserable, which is a good thing.
Alright.
So, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it.
So you'd recommend
Bad,
it?
to be honest.
Okay, Guy's going to tell us why it was shit. Go on, Guy.
No, I said it wasn't bad. It was just fairly mediocre, really.
I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah. I mean,
All right, so
I like that there was a little bit of nuance to the characters, even when we were just getting introduced to them. Like I said, she's small and looks actually like she's like 9, but she's not, and they have a little detail on her relationships with other people. People talk down to her and treat her like a child when she isn't one, and it's a lot more. It feels a lot more real than when most shows try and pull that. So, I liked it.
all right,
So
random
that's
number generator. Here we come.
Yay! Who's gonna do the rolling? Zero, you do
I
the
just
rolling.
did
Yeah.
20.
20. That's S. No,
Alright.
that's... Yeah, that's S. Okay. And the number, this is the longest of them all, 196.
All right. 196. 166.
166. And the winner is... something hard to pronounce. Stella Jogakuin Koutouka C3 Boo.
Okay, Stella, Jogakuin, Koutouka, C3 Boo.
Yeah.
Okay, this is, I think the actual name is Stella Women's Academy, High School Division, Class C3.
That's an
You're-
incredibly unwieldy title.
Yeah, it is. There are even more unwieldy titles in anime. Okay? This is nothing compared to those. Yuri Yamato has just arrived at the high school division of Stella Women's Academy, where Sonora Kashima invites her to a club called C3PO. Sonora is the third-year student who became the new head of this club for military survival games. The other members include 2 second-year students, part Japanese Kurilla Hatsuse and G36K wielding Honoka Mutsu, and 2 other new students, Rento Kirishima, whose family runs a Japanese sweet shop, and a really short Yachio Hinata.
Okay.
Basically, it's girls running around with guns doing military games at a women's academy.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I've never watched a show like this, so I can't really comment on whether it's going to be good or not. I have no idea. No idea whatsoever.
Its score by users is 6.6.
Okay.
On my
Okay.
anime list.
Solidly above average then.
Yeah. Above average, not the greatest, but we'll give it a shot and form our own opinions. Like real people do. Unlike those fake people who don't form their own opinions. They're not real
Yeah, those
people.
robots.
That's right. You program their opinions into them.
You're just talking at this point, aren't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
I am.
always
Take this away from me.
talking.
Say something else. Move on.
Okay. So topics.
Assuming Serpent Guy doesn't want to veto it, and we all know he's not, so yeah, topics.
Yeah, he's never going to do that. We don't actually
So I
care
never
about
had-
whether this one's good or not, so...
Alright. So the first topic this week was it hyperversion?
Nope.
It was spies.
That it was.
Right.
Okay.
See, this is
go.
what happens when people try and steal the hosting duties away from me. I let them humiliate themselves, and then I just move on. So,
Cold.
I was trying to help.
yeah, this is my job. The topic
if
title
we were in the
is-
same
is-
room, I'd slap you.
Yeah, you
Okay,
would.
moving.
Spies is the first topic. Slicer said he had something for this. Basically, just spies, espionage, and stuff.
So, has anyone seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yes.
I watched an episode and it had J. August Richards in it, and I was super excited for it. And then it turned out he wasn't he wasn't in the main cast, and I was disappointed.
I watched I watched a good portion of it before I started to fall off it. Past the whole Hydra infiltration and after the Inhumans arc a little bit.
Yeah, so spoilers for about 3/4 of the way through that show. So if you're interested in watching it, you may want to skip this part of this topic. One of the major cast members is actually a spy for Hydra. And it is completely unexpected. At least for me it was.
No, yeah,
I'm sure
that caught me
people.
completely by surprise.
Since we're spoiling it, it is the badass agent archetype character.
Yes.
He's the main male lead, basically, and he turned out to be a spy the whole time. So, yeah.
That is
the fact that
that is a bold choice for a show.
Yeah, he's like the awesome spy who's like a veteran, and he's very kind of he's more like a very serious and otherwise somewhat blandish type character personality wise, and then you get this thrown at you, like, oh, okay,
yeah. So not only does this happen, but one of the characters gets brain damaged in the event, and it's a whole thing. And this was completely unexpected. As far as I know, there were really no signs of this leading up to it.
Not really. I mean, maybe if you look back, there could be slight hints. But
I think retroactively, we saw more of different scenes that painted them a different light. So we got to see him like downloading files when he shouldn't have, or something like that. But yeah, in the first run through of the show, it was a very well done.
Yeah,
he was a good spy. And
the show does a lot with it takes a lot of the kind of the tropey team mechanics of like a spy type show or whatever, and it inverts them in some way. And this was a nice way of having that sort of inversion right there.
One thing I do like about this is how they handled his character. I forget his name because it's been like a year since I saw the show. But
Ward.
Yeah, Ward.
Ward, that's it. Yes, him. I love how they handled his character because he is completely broken. He is a broken person.
Oh yeah, he is nutso gonzo.
It's not even he is the mask. It's like there's just nothing there. Just fragments of what used to be a human being. And he is just completely crazy for the main female lead. And that is his entire motivation for most of the rest of the show. I didn't see the latest season. I think season 7. But that is a good way to handle spies if you're taking the approach in which you don't let the readers or viewers or whatever in on the secret.
There's a whole arc where he becomes a lone agent and everything and whatnot.
It was a really good thing how they did it, but what kind of fell downhill is that after they did it, they dug themselves into a little bit of a hole, and they were trying to bring this character back in, even though he was out of it, really.
That was the mistake.
The attempts to bring him back in did feel kind of forced.
Really forced. It's actually what killed the show for me. I don't really have any motivation to go back and keep watching it.
I think he's gone permanently at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Just he doesn't show up anymore. I can't remember if he died or if he's...
He became a giant space monster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So he's gone.
Wait, what?
Which isn't really as cool as...
I kind of just rejoined the conversation that he became a giant space monster. Oh, and everyone's like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, it is
No,
Marvel.
that's not the reaction to that.
He kind of got his body consumed by this alien ancient inhuman who could control over inhumans. So he stayed the same actor, but he became a different character, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, it wasn't really as cool as it sounds, to be honest.
Fair play.
Basically, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the ridiculous Marvel storylines that would never make it in the movies.
Yeah, pretty much. And so that's how to handle the spy thing well. I think Snape probably is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Sorry, who?
Snape from the Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah, they tried to portray him as the villain one too many times. Not one too many times, actually. They made him the red herring character for pretty much every single book.
Yeah.
It's Snape. No, it's Snape. No, it's Snape. It's Snape. It was Snape. Oh no, but he was a good guy, Snape.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except he was still an asshole the whole time. So there's really no defense there on, oh, he was just keeping up the role, except he enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
No, he isn't actually. He is actually a bad person.
Mm.
Wasn't his whole thing is like he was really into Harry's mum?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that already.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
pretty
you
sure
see
the
all
big
those-
reveal of him being the good guy was, like, I think it was Dumbledore's memory of Snape begging him to help. And he says, oh, no, Voldemort found out that it might be Lily and the kid, I guess. He might go after them. Help, please. I tried to offer just to, give him the kid and, that fucker James, but he wouldn't take it. So help, please.
Yeah.
That was his
it.
good guy
Yeah.
moment.
This woman I want to bone is in trouble. Help me.
He wouldn't just let me kill the kid. What an evil bastard, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, so that's almost like an inversion of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, because the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing was like Ward was kind of a good dude until
Yeah,
the
he
turn,
was. Yeah.
whereas Snape was a dickhead until the turn, and actually kind of after the turn as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, Ward was the main male lead hero. I mean, he didn't have much of a personality, but what was there was beneficial and
Yeah.
altruistic or whatever.
Oftentimes the main male lead hero doesn't get a personality anyway, so don't worry
Yeah.
about that. It's really a non-issue.
Yeah.
Especially since the idea was he wasn't supposed to have one. He was supposed to be generic, awesome dude who no one really pays too much attention to because he's just so great. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. Why even bring him up? He's just downloading some computer files. It seems like a thing that a cool, awesome
He's
agent would
super-
do. It makes sense to me.
He's super obedient and he's super skilled. So why would you ever possibly doubt him?
So yeah, that what other does Kabuto count?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
Because he was another good one, actually.
Sorry, who?
Kabuto
Never
from
heard that.
Naruto.
Kabuto from Naruto.
Orochimaru's bitch until he
Yeah.
wasn't anymore.
Yeah.
But he totally was still, so...
Yeah,
Was
I don't know. I didn't find him to be a particularly great example. I mean, I was suspicious of him when I first saw him. I was like, I don't like that guy.
Let's see...
Like, he tries to play himself off as very amiable, but with the whole, I will say the whole, oh yeah, Orochimaru, yeah, did that whole thing did kind of come out of nowhere.
In fairness,
I'm really trying to think back of what is canon and what isn't. When did
In
we
canon-
first see him meeting with Orochimaru? Was that after the second turn, the second task?
he meets with, I think it was Baki, is the first time we see it, and
Oh yeah, okay.
Hayate comes up on them, and he's like, "Oh, shit," and then he gets killed. Hayate does, and that's pretty much the first time we see that. Oh, he's probably a bad guy. Yeah, I don't know. I think the first time we actually see him openly on Orochimaru's side was during the tournament. I think.
Yes, because he was an Anbu member trying to get to Sasuke, I think.
Something like that.
Kakashi fought him off, remember it? I was gonna say the Tsunade arc, but that
That was way after, yeah.
Yeah, that was really far ahead.
Yeah, Naruto in general, not a good example of any kind of espionage, considering it's a show about ninja.
It's a show about ninjas that don't do lots of ninja stuff.
Any ninja stuff.
They really were terrible ninjas. I mean, they were technical ninjas.
Here, come to our ninja town. Our hidden village has lots of people come to it.
They've got a hidden
ninjas
village
because
which
they ran with their
advertises
arms
with a
behind
mountain.
them.
They've
Well,
got
you know
bases
what?
in mountain. That's how hidden they were.
You know what, Casey? Sonic runs with his arms behind him. Does that make him a ninja too?
Espio does as well, though, and Espio is a ninja. So,
yeah,
you know,
by this logic,
maybe
yes.
Sonic's just
Yes, it does,
really good at
actually.
the espionage thing.
Oh yes, the fastest blue blur who leaves a blue streak and destruction in his wake is a ninja.
Pretty much every character in Naruto does the exact same amount of destruction.
No, Sakura doesn't.
What?
Well, not at first.
Her thing is super strength later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how effective is that?
It isn't, but she really destroys a lot of grounds.
Yeah, she destroys a lot of not enemy stuff.
If it was a show about rocks, she would be the main antagonist, but it's not. So, you know.
It was a show about Rock Lee.
That was bad. That was just bad.
Mm-mm.
I'm glad I never had to say that one there.
Is that all we got for
Yeah.
spies? And
If
Kind
you
of. I
want
mean,
to
I
do
really
your,
don't have any advice
if
on
you
how
want
to
to do your spy good, just make it so that you can look back and see. Oh, okay. This in this new light of knowing what this character is, I can see this is actually foreshadowing. And instead of, hey, this character's totally not a spy, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You have to be subtle with it.
yeah, it's a tricky balance between letting people know, but only letting them know in hindsight.
Yeah.
It's a tough tightrope to walk. So, you know, credit to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for getting it, I assume, unless it was just, hey, we just found out that in the film this Hydra is infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D., and the writers of the show are like, oh shit, we can do stuff with that, and decided to retcon it at the last minute.
I believe they were talking with the team that was working on like Winter Soldier for a while before they even really implemented that whole Hydra thing.
Could have been. Oh, in fact, the entire Winter Soldier film was probably written and halfway through production by the time Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. went into production. So, yeah, I guess they would have known that in advance.
So, yeah. It works out. It's fine. Moving on. What's our next topic?
Well, our next topic is... How long have we been going? About an hour. That's fine. Murphy's Law. So, Murphy's Law, for people that aren't familiar, I'm not entirely sure of the origin of this, because I know it as Sod's Law, because that's what we call it in England. But it wouldn't be, would it? I'm just double checking the origin of Murphy's Law. Anyway, someone else explain what it is while I look this up, because I'm curious now.
Everything that could go badly is going to happen.
Yes.
In
That is the
short-
shorthand of it.
In short, what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yep, and oh, okay, it wasn't the thing that I thought it was. Was born at Edwards Air Force Base in 1949 at North Base. It was named after Captain Edward A. Murphy, an engineer working on Air Force Project MX-981. A project designed to see how much sudden deceleration a person can stand in a crash. Fair play. So, yeah, this is a storytelling trope that is probably as old as dirt. And, you know, that makes sense. Like, anyone says, oh, nothing bad could happen. It seems we came out of this all right. What could possibly go wrong? Phrases like that are basically saying, hey, Murphy, you were a cool dude and you came up with a cool thing. Let's add that into our story. Basically. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you tend to see this a lot in tragedies, particularly like, say, Romeo and Juliet. We're just going to escape together. What could possibly go wrong? I'm going to take this poison that will put me to death like sleep. What could possibly go wrong? And everything goes wrong.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Well,
Like-
it's...
Like, the point of a tragedy is it was almost a foregone conclusion that everything was going to go wrong because it was such a stupid fucking plan. But Murphy's Law more applies to good plans, and everything seems like a solid plan and nothing could go wrong, and then everything goes wrong anyway.
All right. So give me an example of this then. Just a good example.
A good example?
Yeah. Because it's easy to throw out tons of bad examples.
I mean, the only example I can think of when something going wrong could be going right is if it's either happening to the bad guy or it just something bad now causes something much better down the line. Like a happy accident.
Say, for example, okay, good guys are trying to sneak into a base, and it seems to be going alright, it's all perfectly fine, and then an alarm goes off. Usually, things like this, like I say, are triggered by someone saying, oh, this is going just fine, okay, everything's going according to plan, and then something goes wrong. That is usually the implementation of Murphy's Law in storytelling. At least nowadays. I don't know how it was in the past, but that's usually how things play out.
It is usually inspired by some kind of fate-tempting line of dialogue, yes.
Now, if you want to subvert this, what could possibly go wrong? And
I don't know whether that was intentional, but you cut out as soon as you said, what could possibly go wrong, and then...
If that wasn't intentional, then it was absolutely perfect.
It was.
it wasn't intentional. I was
So
gonna
what were
say,
you trying to say?
a subversion would be like, what could possibly go wrong? And then nothing goes wrong at all. Gosh darn it.
Or like, say, for example, a dog could jump in on the recording and stuff. Hi, doggy.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sorry.
We should have seen this
Wanted to
coming.
cuddle.
We should have seen this coming. We should have seen it coming that Murphy's Law would apply to us as soon as we started talking about it.
Now that you
This
mention
is
it,
true.
yeah. Why did we
Murphy's
stop
Law
it?
is Murphy's Law is our podcast.
And then the feedback happens.
And then a lightning storm blows in.
It's actually super stormy, so don't joke about that, because it might happen here.
A lot of the reasons why I say we skip out on the podcast a week, it's because of Murphy's Law.
Everyone, you know what? Having just read that definition for Murphy's Law, everyone hates Murphy. They shouldn't. He was basically trying to mitigate the circumstances of Murphy's Law. He was a cool dude.
Well, in engineering,
I thought
you-
everybody
you-
hated Chris.
Yeah. I thought everybody loved Raymond, too.
I feel old.
No one but Raymond.
That's terrible. Just no reception at all.
I wasn't into live action shows until I was like 13, so yeah, a little
I
bit before
just
my
know the
time.
names of lots of TV sitcoms.
King of Queens. That was a good.
I know the name of that. I don't know what it is, but I
It was
know the
way
name
better
of
than
that.
Everybody Loves Raymond, and it was on around the same time.
What about Two and a Half Men?
Oh god, I watched way too much of that show.
Or my favorite version, Two and a Half Man. That was a parody there.
Yeah, Family Guy jokes.
Yeah. Two and a Half Man. He had the little midget guy. It's like,
Oh, that was a different joke then. Fair enough. I was thinking the 2.5 Man thing was where there was two guys and a third guy, and he was chopped in half, and everyone was screaming. Yeah, Family Guy jokes.
that might be one. They might have made multiple jokes on Two and a Half Men. It's really easy. I don't know if that was. I'm pretty sure Two and a Half Man, with it being a midget or something, is also a thing. Might not be Family Guy. I'm not sure.
I think we've run out of things to talk about for this.
Yeah,
Just
Murphy's
I think
Law.
that happened a while ago, actually.
Yeah, we Murphy's Law. Hey, it's okay. I guess it's expected.
Yeah, there's no
That's a
real
good way
to
of
get away
describing
from
it. It is expected at this point.
There's no way to get away from it as a trope. It's been used and subverted so many times. You really can't be original about it, so there's no reason to just freely use it. I mean, it doesn't matter which way you take it.
It's been used, it's been subverted, it's had the subversion subverted, it's been inverted, it's been averted, it's been done in every which way possible. So just fucking do whatever you want with it. Because it's been done anyway, so don't even think you're being original. No matter how you do it, just fucking do what you want to do.
Just don't overdo the same thing. Don't subvert it every time it happens. That kind of thing.
Okay, so we're running at 8:44. I think we started at around 10 past, I want to say. Maybe? I don't know, something like that.
We're at about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the longest episode, but we can keep going.
Let's make this an easy one, shall we? So recommendations.
All right, I have a recommendation this week.
I have a sneaking suspicion Zero is about to be busy because I'm hearing background noise from him. So
Yeah.
your recommendation, Zero?
It is Arxtum's story, Paleblood, because I've read that, the first 4 chapters at least.
Because I brought it up last week.
Yeah, because you brought it up, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go read that. And I've been enjoying it. But that same thing that always happens to me when I read a fic is coming up, where I immediately start to go writing my fic, like once I get like a couple thousand words in. You could just keep going back and forth. So it's slow going, but I don't read a lot of Bloodborne fics, but I like what he's doing with kind of bringing together the two worlds, relying on a few fan theories. And could you stop that in the background?
Was that on mine?
Yeah, that was yours.
Oh, okay. The dog was licking herself. So.
Oh, gross.
Or
That
just,
is a
not
loud.
that. Like smacking
Loud.
her lips kind of thing. I can mute
Oh.
my mic.
It's really loud.
I thought you were chewing something.
So
Anyway.
if you like Bloodborne and you're okay with frickin' Danmachi, the whole dungeon, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Go, give it a read. He does a good enough job of conveying a lot of the stuff about Danmachi so that you don't really need to have even seen it.
Let me say this much. You don't have to have seen either. Because
Yeah.
I have experienced neither of those series, and he pulls it off well enough that I'm still kept up to speed. So,
Yeah. So go give that a read. And, support Arxum, that crazy guy. He
Yeah.
was on our podcast last week.
Yeah.
His avatar has crazy eyes on his fanfiction profile.
Oh, right. I thought you meant on here.
Crazy eyes.
Okay. Anyone else got any recommendations?
I do not.
I got one.
Okay, Saiso.
So I'm not usually a fan of Star Wars. I'll watch the movies if friends do, but it's just not something that's really clicked with me. So likewise, a lot of Star Wars fan fiction just doesn't really appeal, even though I've tried in the past with various crossovers. But this one is a Harry Potter Star Wars crossover called Broken Chains by Darth Mars. 38 chapters, 156,000 words.
Oh, God. I remember this one.
Yeah, so Harry falls through the veil, as is pretty standard for most crossover fics. Only he's spit out like a month later, pretty much dead. Like, every bone in his body shattered, organs ruptured, that kind of thing.
Ew.
But magic, so he lives. Turns out he spent 4-5 years as a Sith apprentice and basically being brainwashed into being a Darth Shaddix, I think his name is.
To be specific, he is the Sith apprentice from Star Wars The Force Unleashed.
Yes.
Oh. He's Star Killer, basically.
Sure. I'm not familiar with that, so let's go with sure.
He was
That sounds
Darth
right.
Vader's apprentice.
So, yeah, the thing I like about this fic is that, spoiler for the first 2 chapters here, but they kind of find a way to kill both Harry and Shaddix, and somehow Bellatrix gets mixed in, and it kind of becomes a new character with all these parts. And this character is utterly merciless, like zero conscience. It's brought up in universe all the time. This character does not have a conscience left and has to rely on Hermione and eventually Luna to guide him in moral matters, because his solution to a problem is just kill it. Just kill it dead. And this is seen so rarely in fics.
That's a pretty good solution, to be fair.
It's not done well in most fics, and yet this one just does it. Mostly because the author doesn't hold back in this aspect. Like, if Harry is let to his own devices, he will murder everything. So, in most fics that try this, they always limit the character, or something happens that means they can't do it, or something like that. It's a cock tease, basically. So this one does it really well. I'm happy about that. I have no real interest in reading the sequel because it is a crossover with Stargate, one of the Stargates. I don't know which one.
They're all in the same universe.
And that is and unlike Star Wars, that is a series that I've tried and just not even remotely interested in trying anymore. So,
Oh, that's a shame.
but the original story does end very well. It is a good ending for the story. So, the fic is complete, by the way, if that wasn't obvious.
Okay, anyone else? Is that a no?
Fortunately, I don't have one to recommend at this point. I thought I had one, but I can't remember what it was anymore. I hate when that happens.
Alrighty. My recommendation for this one, which I promised to give, but no, it's still a good recommendation. I'm still going to stick by it, but I've stopped reading it. It is called, what's it called? Reiteration? Yes, Reiteration by, it's fucking... Writer names, Jesus, I swear. Alright. Phailin, something. Phailen. It is a Ruby fic. It is a self-insert fic, ish. Right. So, what can I say about this fic? Okay. So,
How is it sort of a self-insert fic? Just start from there.
okay. It's sort of a self-insert fic because the writer says they specifically didn't describe the protagonist because they wanted the reader to insert themselves in that character.
Oh,
I don't buy that in the slightest.
no, that's complete BS.
Yeah.
You can't do that for a story.
No.
I get the intent there is to put a generic character in that, like they did with One Ring, or the Ring fic that we're talking about all the time, the Greed one.
Oh yeah, with this ring. Sorry.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
That he was a generic character. I mean, I argue against that even being a self-insert. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't buy that. Whoever's eating, could you stop, please? Because it's very loud. So I don't buy the not being a self-insert and imagine yourself. It doesn't work because the character has too much personality, far too much. So the basic premise of the fic is there is a dude. He, at the age of I think 26, he's in the Ruby universe and he's born to parents, and he has to learn to pretend that he is a baby because you don't want to be the weird baby that is far too intelligent and knows how to do everything, and then you're the child that knows how to do everything and no one knows why, and you're the freak.
So he's basically taking the premise of it.
Take the premise of what? You cut off.
Of every single reincarnation fic ever.
Oh,
Basically, yes. And when he gets to 4 years old, his parents take him on a trip into Foreverfall Forest where nothing can possibly go wrong. So, in short, his parents are murdered in front of him, and he...
Okay, as they deserve. That was stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he unlocks his aura and escapes. Yay. And he's put in an orphanage and gets put up for adoption. And he notices that there are people with animal traits. Okay. What's that about? And he notices, all these people with animal traits are constantly being treated like shit. So I want to know what that's about. So he arranges a way to get adopted by two Faunus parents. When he turns around 11, somewhere around that age, the local Faunus community decide to go on an outing to the Foreverfall Forest.
Oh, come on!
That's a bit much.
Surprisingly, something goes wrong, and yeah, the Grimm show up again. Shocker. The self-insert, now knowing somewhat how to defend himself with aura because he spent the past 7 years training with it, defends the group for a little bit and then fails, and his dad decides, I'm not going to let my son die, so saves him. And they all get away except for the dad, who gets disemboweled.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is there's basically the dead parent forest.
Basically, yes.
You just go to get your parents killed. And the idea of, oh, hey, we're going to an outing to this dead parent forest, and he doesn't say, wait, my parents died there. Maybe we shouldn't?
Yeah.
Okay, so when he inevitably gets into Beacon and Glinda suggests, or rather tells them they're going to the Forever Forest, he's just going to clock her right in the face? Is that how this is going to go?
He goes... The Foreverfall Forest is supposed to be safe at those times that he goes there because the Beacon students are out in force in the Foreverfall Forest at that time of year. So the Grimm are expected to be over there, kind of thing.
Okay.
But they weren't.
But it's the dead parent forest.
And it's a case of, well, it happens sometimes, but it could never happen to us, right? Is the logic.
Not again.
Yeah, basically.
If I was him, I'd just say, hey, I have a trauma regarding that dead parent forest over there. Let's not go and have some other parents die instead.
So skipping forward a bit, he does the generic training stuff. He knows Yang and Ruby somehow, even though they live in an island nowhere near the rest of Vale, but that's incidental. He trains and he gets a scholarship to go to Beacon so that he can develop apps for scrolls, which are the tablet analogs in this universe, and he happened to used to be a programmer in his first life, so that's fine. He can fucking do that and he can go to school for free. He gets put on Team Ruby, and they spell the name wrong because it's R-W-E-B-Y, and it would make far more sense for it to be R-E-W-B-Y. His name's Enten, by the way, just to make that clear. Just a pronunciation thing, it's a quibble, but it really bothers me every time I read it.
You're not selling me on this, Vic.
No, you seem really obligated to do this. What happened that turned you off of this fic?
Okay.
Or, in general,
what
the
this
whole
fic
thing.
does... That was basically the end of my synopsis as far as I was going to take it. So, what this fic does is... It was written, I think, just before Season 3 started. And it was planned in its entirety at that point. So, end of Season 2 is where it goes wildly alternate universe. Which is important. Zero doesn't know why, but he will. So it adds a lot of elements to the setting and the story and all these things. It changes things about some of the characters and plots. So if you really, really like the canon trail as it goes, I don't know, if you hold that sacred, you're not going to like this fic. But what it does do that's different is actually really interesting. And it highlights Ruby's character specifically in a bad way. Because what this fic does that is interesting but makes me hate it at the same time, well, it eventually made me hate it anyway, is Ruby is your generic good person character. She is the heroic type. She will follow her moral compass no matter what. Even if it would be easier for literally everyone if she just went along with the negative thing, just went along with it, even the people that it supposedly hurts, air quotes, she will still go with her moral compass and fuck everyone over, basically. And she does this every single time.
I've seen a few fics do that before. It's really bad.
That's the thing. It's not bad. It's consistent with her character, and she fucks everyone over constantly because of it.
So it's consistent and it's good writing, but it's also annoying.
It's very, very annoying.
Yeah,
It's
but does
more-
anyone bother to call her out on it?
In half measures, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a case of, Ruby, you're a fucking retard, but we love you, so don't worry about it. Basically. That's the extent of being called out on it. Also, the self-insert is an absolute dickhead. Like, in every way, shape, or form. The excuse and rationalization of it is a survivalist mentality, so fuck everyone else, me and mine are okay. Which makes sense and is good character development in the setting. But in pursuit of that, the character will fuck everyone else over. So I feel like it's going for a contrast between the self-insert and Ruby. Only in that contrast, it makes both of them look like absolute fucking morons. So...
Yeah, I mean, great survivalist mindset you have, letting your the dead parent forest for the second time.
Does he go into there a third time and get more?
Is
people
there
killed,
a
or-
third time, the reckoning? He's like, well, I found a new dad. Come on, Dad.
The third time he goes in there, the Grimm go after the Beacon students like they're supposed to, or like they're expected to, rather. So, he just happens to be part of the Beacon students at the time, but... It's written
I think you
really well.
take the day off. Just, I'm sick, I'm not going to class today. Just
It's written well,
calling ill.
but... And the character arcs make sense, but...
It's the second dead parent forced visit necessary. Is it really?
I probably agree with you on that as well. That didn't make much sense. That
Why did they actually go to the forest? Did they just want, this is a good place for a picnic or something?
there aren't many of those in the Ruby setting, to be clear. That are completely safe of Grimm? No, there aren't many of those. So you take what you can get, kind of thing.
Yeah. But, like, any sort of character development type things that would be established, you can get established in the first time. You don't need the second time.
Yeah, it was a bit much. But,
Yeah.
Up to the point that I read, which I'm going to clarify specifically what chapter it was that I stopped, in case the author is listening to this, because I did say before I stopped reading that, hey, I'm still reading this, and I'm going to recommend this on the podcast this week. I stopped at chapter 36. So...
how many chapters are there total?
There are 43 chapters. I was actually pretty close to catching up. It's still active, by the way, updated on October 30th.
Mr. Writer, if you're still reading this, I just want to say, don't go into the dead parent forest anymore.
Also, congratulations on reading an audio format show. It's really impressive. I just want to say, kudos. Good job, Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the reading. I fucking Zero. I like the writing.
I don't know what sort of skills this person has.
I like the writing. I like that the character arcs make sense. I don't like that it's just kind of pushed to the wayside sometimes. That sometimes the character reactions to what's going on don't make sense. Like, at chapter 36, it's like the third or fourth time that Ruby has fucked up in that exact way. And the protagonist is still entirely unwilling to call them out on it. In fairness, it would be incredibly hypocritical to do so, but still.
That sounds like just a lack of forward movement with the characters.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure I'd be interested in reading. Especially since I don't know much about Ruby. So.
I'd rather you didn't because it would spoil the shit out of you on some things. So.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so that's my recommendation for this week. Give it a shot. See what you think of it. I did enjoy it.
If I may,
most of
I
the time
have a
was
call
reading
to what I...
Okay.
Yeah. We have to go now. Okay, bye everybody.
Wait. Patient had a recommendation.
It's fine. Zero can fuck off. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
See you, Zero.
Yeah, I have to go now, actually. So, bye.
See you.
Take care.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make this fast. My recommendation is a Pokemon fanfiction from a few years back. It's called Team Go-Getters Beyond the First Gate. It's basically an expansion on the television special that was made for the first of the Mystery Dungeon games. This is basically a novelization of the plotline of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue Rescue Team, but it's got a little of Generation 4 mixed into it. And, well, it's a bit spoilerific exactly how much they're expanding into Generation 4. Most specifically the main protagonist. Not Ash or any of his companions, but a character that's already established in Pokemon. But but not one that I'm guessing a lot of people would see coming. I mean, for most of the first part of the story, the main protagonist is an amnesiac Squirtle who was brought into the world of Pokemon for unknown reasons by an unknown force, unknown pretty much everything. But he was pretty much recruited right at the outset by a Chikorita and a Charmander into a rescue team called Team GoGetters, basically helping Pokemon in trouble based on all of the natural disasters that are occurring and causing many of the surrounding Pokemon to go into fall back on more feral instincts.
That's cool. What's wrong with Bulbasaur?
Nothing's wrong with Bulbasaur. They chose Chikorita for the special, so...
Question stands.
Well, Bulbasaur is just not as good as the other two.
What the hell, anime guys? It's not cool.
Well, Squirtle's a turtle, so that's awesome. And Charmander is a fire lizard. And
Bulbasaur
Chikorita's just
is
kinda
a
cool.
dinosaur. It's a plant dinosaur. What's wrong with that?
It's a plant, though, so fuck it.
But it's a dinosaur.
So is
No, it's
Chikorita,
still a
Casey.
plant.
No, it isn't.
What is it then?
Duh. It's a good question, though. I don't actually know. What is it? Anyway, sorry. I interrupted entirely pointlessly.
Look at Meganium and tell me that it doesn't look at least a bit like a sauropod.
You're a sauropod.
Wow.
Classy.
Proud of that one.
A little bit. Anyway, you keep going.
Well, that's basically it. It's a pretty seamless melding of a specific tale from Generation 4, the TV special, and the Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue games up until the end of the game's main storyline. It's an entertaining story, long since completed. Last updated 2009, so yeah, it's been completed for a while now. 30 chapters, 101, almost 102,000 words. It's a good story, in my opinion.
Is it complete, or just not updated anymore?
Complete.
that's-
I mean, it doesn't go at all into the after game, but it's climactic. It comes to the story's conclusion.
All right.
Does anyone like the Mystery Dungeon games?
Well, I
tried
mean,
to.
Red and Blue were a bit mediocre as they were getting into the whole thing about it, but when they got into Explorers of... when they got into the later games, they became really good.
Sky Time
Well,
and
based
Darkness.
on what I've...
Sky Time and Darkness was supposed to be good, and then Gates to Affinity happened, and that was not. For like 100 different reasons.
Ebbs and flows. Yeah, some are diamonds, some are stones. You do what you can. I mean...
It wasn't a stone, it was a stoner.
Anyway, that's my recommendation for this week. I'm not going to forget the one that I have in mind for next week, though I'm not sure exactly how all of you guys will feel about it. Well, that's for next week.
Yeah.
For now, if there are no more recommendations, I'll leave it to you, Casey.
Thank you. That's very gracious of you to let me do my job, unlike Zero, who would start doing the outro himself. Like,
Oh, to be fair, you are pretty bad at your job. So, it's time for someone to take it.
there it is. I'm so glad that Kenshi showed me that button. It's fucking great. Sweet, blissful silence. Alright, so I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode 155. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel through the comments. Please do it on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode 155. Bye now.
A happy belated Thanksgiving.
See you guys.
Yeah.